Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of our podcast. I'm Yash Patel, co founder at Softices Capital, a venture capital firm that supports innovative startups. So, today we have an exciting guest, Vijay, a visionary product leader who has played a key role in shaping fintech and digital payments. So, Vijay was the head of product and marketing at Google, where he played the crucial role in developing Google Pay, one of the most widely used payment solutions. Then later he moved to the Adyen as a vice president, contributing to the growth of one of the world's leading payment platforms. Now he's the co-founder at Sizzle, an AI-powered platform that helps gamers effortlessly capture and share their best moments from their live streams. So, in today's conversation, we will dive into his journey from working at tech giants to building his own startup. So let's welcome Vijay to the show. Hi Vijay, how are
Hi,
you doing?
Yash. Thanks. I'm doing good. Thanks so much for having me.
So I will just quickly start with the journey first. So Google Pay. So I'm just excited to know about how you uh, had your journey with Google Pay and serving Google Pay for almost more than 8 years. And so just for the numbers, Google Pay right now, as of December 2024, it has 61 billion transaction in the annual transaction, with the almost 150 plus million users globally, and also with the volume of $93.4 billion. So having a part of the founding team at Google Pay, where people were not used to with the digital payment system, and you were the part of that founding team. So I would like to know about your experience first at Google Pay. So can you just give us a brief about what you were doing at one of the most advanced tech team back in 2011 when Google Pay introduced to the world? So yeah, uh, to you.
Yes, sounds good, Yash. No, those are great memories. Some of the best memories I had from my career. The story actually begins maybe a year earlier in 2010. So already been at Google for a few years by then, and I was ready. I was in a group called Google Enterprise, and I was ready to move to a different team. And I was kind of looking around internally, seeing, what groups were hiring and, where's a good place to go. And I heard that Google had just brought in a new SVP of commerce, and she wanted to start a commerce division, which had never been there at Google before. And so I met with her. I reached out and I met with her. And as I asked her, kind of, what are the things that you're focused on? What are you trying to build here? And she said, well, Google already had Google Shopping at the time, but she wanted to improve that. And then, she wanted to work on Google Offers, which was sort of a coupons and discount service. And then she wanted to work on an e-wallet, basically figuring out a way to pay. And when she said e-wallet, that's when I got really excited because I had worked at a payment startup in the past previously, and I knew a thing or two about payments. And I said, well, that's super interesting. And I walked her through my background and I told her some of the payment stuff that I had done. And I think she got interested because at the time there was basically, she had maybe two engineers that had this idea of basically paying with your phone and having an NFC chip in your phone, but no one to think through what should this product be from a product standpoint. What do we want? It can't just be payments. Is there something else? How do we want the payments to work? Who's our users? Thinking about the market and the marketing. She needed someone to do all that. So she liked my background. I started on it. There was just a handful of us kind of thinking through what we want in an e-wallet. So my first sort of sub project was figuring out what to build here. So I spoke to a lot of users, and these weren't even users. These are basically just consumers, younger people, because I knew that that would be the audience that would be using this. And I asked them kind of, have you thought about paying with your phone? And, if you wanted to have a wallet in your phone, what are all the things that you would want from it? And what I learned was a little surprising. Most people said that payments is fine, but when they think of a thick wallet and all the things that they have in a wallet, like all your different, obviously, credit cards, and in the States, most people pay with credit cards. And then you have loyalty cards for different department stores. There's different loyalty cards people carry around. And also coupons, sometimes at the time, at least, this is before all the coupons were mobile. Um, they wanted to carry all of this: coupons, loyalty, and then payment. So I went back to the team and I said, hey guys, we need to build all the three of these things. It can't just be about the payment. And the other piece, even within the payment, was it can't just be about paying in stores like with your phone. It also has to be about paying online. And Google had a Google checkout offering at the time. So we decided to roll all of that into one single Google Pay. So that was my first project, kind of defining what should be in this. And then as I worked with the team and we got this built, then my next project was like planning the launch that we did in 2011. So I organized the entire launch event. We called about 100 press people. And we wanted to set up a live demo on stage where, when you tapped your phone, three things happened. Your payment went through, a coupon went through, and a loyalty card went through. So we actually, by this point, I had been working with the sales team as well, and I built up a few more marketing people on my team. And then we had actually talked partnerships with the partnership ecosystem of an e-wallet is super, super complicated. You need to partner with banks, with the credit card companies, with the payment networks like Visa and MasterCard. This is all to enable a payment transaction. Then you need to partner with the merchants like, Subway and Macy's and, all the places where you buy
Right.
from. They have to actually deploy. At the time, we were trying to pay with your phone. You need a
Yeah.
contactless terminal. So they have to deploy those terminals. Those credit card terminals didn't really exist. Maybe 5% of merchants had it at the time. Most
Got it.
people didn't. So they had to deploy that. So we were working with all these partnership teams to get these partners up to speed. And at the launch event, we actually had 3 or 4 partners on stage and we did live transactions with like Subway, with Macy's, and a couple of other partners. So that was super nervous
Yeah.
because, like, whenever you're talking about a live transaction on stage, anything can go wrong. But we had a whole script,
Yeah.
and the our VP that was actually doing the demo, he wouldn't even rehearse the night before. We're like, hey, we need you to rehearse. We need you to know what. Yeah, he's like, I got it. And then we
That's
finally got
amazing.
him locked in. And on stage, luckily, everything worked great.
Yeah.
Everything worked for the
Yeah.
first time in the world with a single tap of the phone. We demonstrated three things: the payment, the loyalty, and the coupon all went through with a single tap. It was a world's first. The press ate it up. We had 2,000 articles written about us in 24 hours. So it was a great launch.
So
Um,
that's
yeah.
yeah, that's amazing, Vijay. So be honest, do you still get excited when you see someone pay with Google Pay and knowing you helped build it?
Yeah, I mean, not just Google Pay, but even Apple Pay, to be honest. Apple Pay launched three
Yeah,
years later.
yeah,
So even when I see people just pay with their phone, and it becomes so natural now, because the funny thing is when we were testing this, there was a 7-Eleven close to our office at Google. So the standard is the engineers would go to 7-Eleven, they would pay with their phone. The cashier was like, what the hell are you guys doing? And they would buy a 6-pack of beer because it was on the company, right? So they were getting free beer basically. But even when I went to other stores, so after some time, the 7-Eleven guy got used to us. But even when I went to other stores and I would pay, the cashiers would look at me like, what's going on? What are you trying to do? Like they were so confused. And so in the beginning, it was just very, very challenging to get the whole world to realize this is a different way to pay. And then, people get used to it over time. Even Apple Pay took 3 years to launch after Google Pay. So even Apple took a long time. And even after Apple Pay launched, it probably took 4 or 5 years in the US to really become mainstream, you know. So yeah, now I see, this young generation, that's all they use. They don't even carry their wallet, which was our sort of vision. And even back in 2010, we said, your driver's license needs to be in this, basic, even ID and security things. And now we're starting to see that in some of the states in the US where you don't need to carry a physical driver's license, physical ID. It can actually be accepted, from your phone. So that full vision is finally starting to take off.
Amazing. That's amazing. So moving forward from the Google Pay, how this transition happened, like Adyen, if we talk about Adyen, it stood currently at staggering with a network of $56.69 billion, one of the another largest fintech company which the world has seen, and serving over there as a vice president of that company. So how this transition happened from Google Pay to Adyen?
Well, I had been at Google for 7 years. And, by the time I left Google, it had become a pretty big company. It was, I think, about 50,000 people at the time when I left. And I was ready for something much smaller. I like kind of moving fast and working with small teams. And so I was actively looking for, good startups to join. And it just so happened that a recruiter from Adyen reached out to me, and I had heard about them, but I didn't know too much about them. So I was like, okay, let me talk to you guys. And as I learned more, I really liked what I heard because they were at the time more popular in Europe, and they were just starting to take off in North America. When I joined them, the US team was only maybe 14, 15 people. And there was less than 200 people in the company overall. So, but they wanted me to sort of head up the marketing team, but really be focused on North America. And that's where, they saw a lot of growth. And especially in Silicon Valley, there was all these, the Facebooks, the Googles, the Amazons, the Spotifys, Ubers, these huge tech platforms that they were targeting because they knew if they could get one of these, they could sign up one, then they can get a massive number of users, massive amount of payments. So that was my focus. And I worked, super closely with the sales team and really helped them um, build up the base. When I started, I think they had just signed one of the large tech companies. And by the time I left, we actually had billboards saying, Adyen processed payments for 9 of the top 10 internet companies in the world. So,
Nice.
so we had really become sort of the big company's preferred provider. So that was a big moment of pride because that's one of the things that I helped, just getting the marketing and getting the sales team going to sign up those big partnerships.
So like that's an amazing journey again at Aiden. So Vijay, most of the people dream of building one big product, and you have done it not once, not twice. Now you are going to do it thrice for the third time. But here the story is going to be different because over there they had huge resources, they had huge team, and you will be the part of it, and then you help them scale. But now coming to Sizzle, leaving the whole fintech industry. So what was going in your head? Why this shift happened from like when you decided now I'm done with the fintech. Now let people do payments digitally via phone and let me focus on gaming. So how you switched to that and how you started at Sizzle and what exactly Sizzle is. So if you can just give us a
Yeah.
brief about the third uh, big product which this world is going to see, so it would be great.
Yeah, no, I mean, good question, Yash. It's definitely not a linear path, and sometimes in life you just gotta do things that don't make sense and may not be linear. Um, so yeah, I mean, I've been at Adyen for a few years, and after Google and Adyen, I wanted to work smaller and smaller, and eventually do my own startup. That was always the goal. I had moved to Silicon Valley from Chicago because in Chicago, it's a great city, my favorite city in the world, but there's just not that much tech stuff happening, or there wasn't at the time. And I moved to Silicon Valley to try to meet the people and get the culture to eventually do my own startup. And so at some point when I was at Adyen, my one of my good friends called me up, and him and I had started a company in the past in college, and we've been in touch. And he was in LA. He was doing independent movies and shorts, producing them, and he was doing all the video editing for them and audio editing. So he called me up and he said, video editing is a big pain in the butt. It's super complicated. Like, we need to simplify it. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so we started talking, and we realized that, movie editors are always going to use their tools. They're not going to change. But there's billions of people that watch social videos, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, I think, was just starting up, Instagram, all of this stuff, billions of people are watching videos, and they need to make clips. They want to see a longer YouTube video. Maybe they want to make a clip and share it on social media. And that process, for a lay person, it's actually quite difficult, And so we said, let's build something super simple to make clips of social media. And the reason I left Adyen, to go back to your question, is because now I finally had someone that was willing to work with me full time and just do something fun. I wasn't thinking about, is this a linear path in my career? I just wanted to be on my own and do my own startup and build a new product from scratch, kind of to your point. It's nice having a team of, a larger team building products for you, but when you have to do it yourself, it's a whole different challenge. And so we built this video editor, super simple. It's just the two of us, and we threw it out there. And what happened is a lot of gamers started using it. There was other users as well, but the core users started to become gamers. And so we started talking to these users. We were like, hey, what's going on? Like, why are you guys using this product specifically? And what we realized is, both streamers, gaming streamers, they might stream for 6-7 hours at a time. And they need highlights from that stream because they're streaming on Twitch or YouTube, and they do long streams just playing games. And they need to post clips on TikTok and Instagram to get discovered. And those clips need to be short, 15, 30-second clips. That's how someone discovers a streamer. And then they go to Twitch or YouTube to actually watch their live stream. But, making those clips and sharing them is super important for a streamer. And for a fan that's watching the clips, for them too, yeah, they don't mind watching 7-hour streams, but they're not paying attention for 7 hours. They may have it on a second screen. And when it gets louder, there's some exciting action. Then they look over that second screen because they don't want to miss those moments. So the fans want the highlights as well. So everybody needed highlights. A lot of gamers started using it. So that's how we kind of said, let's focus in on gaming highlights. And that's how Sizzle got started. And that's really what we've built a business around.
That's amazing. So I have heard Cecil has already raised 6 million to the investor who have invested a lot of money in this, and so I'm excited about seeing the actual product of this now, of
Sure.
Cecil, how exact Cecil work. But before we jump into that, I have one question for you, and that is, so this question has been given by my team. They were excited to also know about certain, while we were going through what questions we should, potentially ask you when we are sitting with some huge personality. So they have this question, and the question: if I have told someone in 2015 that AI would automatically create the best moments from their favorite esports games, they would laugh. So what convinced you that this was the future?
Yeah, I mean, so it's not just the idea of making clips within gaming. So one of the things that we have figured out in the process, and we have some patents behind this as well,
Nice.
is Twitch and YouTube, like I said, gaming streams are really long. They're 7 hours. You may want to see the kills. Your friend may want to see the funny moments. Someone else may want to see the endings of a game. And so everyone, there's billions of people watching gaming content, more than 3 billion people, and all of them have different favorite players, different favorite moments. So it's not just a matter of making clips, it's a matter of personalization. And our patents around personalization is we can take a Twitch video or a YouTube video, and we can make 1 million clips for 1 million different people and 1 million different highlight reels. And we can do all of that without generating any new video files. No new MP4s, new files. We can do it entirely using pointers and timestamps back to the source video. So the pointers that come to you are pointing to maybe the kills. The pointer to your friend is pointing to the funny moments, et cetera, et cetera. So we can personalize to 8 billion people on the planet without generating any new video. And so we thought gaming is the best place to start because there's already 3 billion gamers and there's long form content that needs to be converted to short. But you can apply our technology to any kind of video in the world. It could be, if back when Joe Biden was president, he was boring speech. You don't want to listen to a 2-hour speech.
True.
You can
Right.
personalize the 2 minutes that you want. Someone
Yeah.
else, maybe you want it the 2 minutes that he talks about India. I want the 2 minutes that he talks about Silicon Valley. Things like that.
Got it.
Everyone can personalize. So it can apply, our tech can apply to any video. And that's our eventual vision is whatever you're watching, 10-hour footage, let's get you the 3 or 4 or 5 minute sizzle that's personalized to you. And that's what we thought is a massive problem in the world because there's so much video content and we waste so much time on it and everything needs to be smarter. So going back to your question, yeah, when we first started, we wanted a magic bullet, a magic AI that synthesizes exactly what you're thinking and delivers it to you using AI. And that mission hasn't changed.
Got it.
Obviously the technology has changed and we've got much better and more powerful models that are much cheaper. So we're realizing our vision, but we still have a long way to go to bringing that vision to across all content to reality.
Got it. So, what was more difficult for you? Convincing people pay digitally via phone or convincing gamers trusting with the AI content? What was more tough for you?
Actually, convincing gamers with the AI content is easy. Convincing gamers to pay is a different story. Gamers definitely know they're tech savvy, so they're happy to try out different things. So gamers is actually a great place to try something new and try new technology. They're super tech savvy people. So yeah, it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
I'm just excited to see how exactly Sizzle works. So, if we can just quickly get
Sure,
into the product demo of Sizzle.
sure. Let me share my screen here.
Yeah.
Can you see my screen?
Uh, yeah, I can see.
Okay, perfect. So this is our website, sizzle.gg, and it's really easy. You stream and we create automatic highlights for your stream. You can come here, you can see some of the clips that our users generate, our AI generates for our users. And the main thing is when we use AI, we analyze the video, the audio, and the chat. That's how we generate highlights automatically. We're pulling from Twitch and YouTube. There's literally no software on the user's PC. We're not recording your gameplay. We're not doing any of that. We work with streamers that are already streaming to Twitch and YouTube, and we can pull the video file as you stream from Twitch or YouTube. So that gives us some advantages. First of all, the video, we don't have any game input. So we have to run AI, and we built AI game by game. So we have algorithms for Fortnite or Call of Duty or Valorant or Free Fire, what have you. We have different algorithms for all those games to detect what's happening in the video. The audio tells us when is the streamer excited? Are they shouting? Are they laughing? And the chat tells us when is the audience excited. So it's a combination of all of these signals. That's how we generate highlights automatically. Okay, and then for streamers, we also, you can also upload a file. If you're not a streamer, but you have a gameplay recording, you can upload a file. We can get you the same highlights from that gameplay. And you can one-click share and all of that. A lot of our streamers, they love it. They say, this is one of the must-have tools as a streamer. And we do a lot of esports tournaments as well. But let me show you what the actual product looks like. So if we go to the dashboard, here on the left-hand side is your Twitch or YouTube streams or your file uploads. So when you first sign up to Sizzle, it's a one-time connection. You just do a LDAP login into Twitch or YouTube, and you give us permission to access the video files in your account, basically. So that's a one-time thing. So that way, every time you stream after that, we can automatically see your streams here. And then you can process them, and all of our output, the clips that we generate, are in the middle. So our output is clips, which is typically about 15 to 30 seconds. You can see 20 seconds, 18 seconds, 17 seconds, etc. And we also have compilations. And compilations might be automatic highlight reels that we generate. In this case, hey, this is the best moments on the stream. It's about 4 minutes long. So typically, the individual clips are perfect for TikTok and Instagram and Twitter, the short form content. And compilations might be better for something like YouTube, where people are used to watching longer form content. So let me show. Let me click on one of these things. So here's an. I'm going to mute this, but the full audio
Yeah.
is there. We don't touch the audio. But here's a clip, it's from Fortnite and looks like he's coming in for a kill and he gets like a long range shot here and it was a headshot. So that's great. And we have a few seconds after the kill. Maybe you don't want that as a streamer. So we have an easy way for you to adjust the start and end time. So if you want to bring that the few seconds, maybe you want to kill 4 or 5 seconds at the end, you can save that, and then your sizzle gets saved. So it
That's
used to be
amazing.
20 seconds, now it's 15 seconds. Okay. Yeah. I mean, just,
Yeah.
basic things like that. Now, if we click on this, now it's only 15 seconds. So this feels like the right amount of time before and after the moment. Now I can one click share this to social media. So I can, share it to whatever I have enabled. Let me close that. I can also, download this. I can also download vertical. And when I download vertical, what happens is vertical just means a 9 by 16 instead of 16 by 9. So our AI will figure out where the action is happening and automatically cut a 9 by 16 so that you can then post it on Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts or TikTok. So any of the short form, vertical platforms, you can then post it for. So you can also, if you want to share this, you can just copy the link and send a link to somebody to see. You could also create custom compilations. So a compilation, like I said, just maybe a collection of different clips. So let's say you like this one, you like this, you like this, you like this. You can, add all of those and hit save. You can give it a name, best. Oops, I lost that, but you can give it a name. You can say, best moments and say best, right? And we'll be done. And so then you have, your compilation here. And this shows me my different compilations that I have. And same thing, I can add clips if I want. I can remove clips. If I wanted to change the order, I can do all of that. I can delete stuff. So, that's kind of your compilations. And then game by game, we have different filters here. So as you can imagine, if you're streaming for a long time, you might get a lot of clips and it's hard for you to sort through all of them. Let's say I just want the headshots. So, I happen to look through one of the headshots, but here's the one that I saw, but there's actually another headshot. So I can look through that. Or maybe I don't care about the knockdowns, but I want to see the long shots. So maybe there's one more long shot. So game by game, there's different filters here. Here for Fortnite, you can see different moments. For FIFA, if this was, I guess I should say EAFC 25, which is the official term for the soccer
Yeah.
game, FIFA now, this would be like goals, corner kicks, et cetera, free kicks, stuff like that. So game by game, there's different moments here that you can sort through. But this is really, a streamer's sort of command center. This gives them all the different clips that they have, and then they can manage all of the clips from there. And you can also just download everything if you just want a copy of everything on your PC. You can download all. So does that help? Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
it makes sense. Like it saves a lot of time of gamers. Like, if even I was a gamer back in high school, so even I know that even I tried once to do live streaming and then to put it out, but it didn't help much because I didn't had much tools available, so that so if Sizzle is giving this solution to the gamers, I think I can just focus on more on gaming, and I can save a lot of money in terms of video editing and video, even the dimension where a TikTok needs an ideal, they have a specific size where you need to post it. LinkedIn has a different side, so Instagram has a different,
Yeah.
YouTube has a different. So helping
Yeah.
them, giving their ideal shots in the different direct in the different sizes, I think that is one of the biggest use case you have. And having the sense of while the users are chatting and when there is a hype, and along with that there is some action to understand the sentiment, it creates the another use case of this platform. So I can see this growing very quickly in a couple of in a very little span of duration. So I'm excited to see more of Sizzle from here. So yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So
Yeah, and
yeah,
yeah, go ahead, Yash.
yeah. So I was just asking. So this was the product demo. So now from the Sizzle business model, if we talk about, so what are you aiming for? What is the current active users we have right now?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things that we're looking to do. So first of all, in this streamer offering, we have over 100,000 streamers that are using this. So they've connected their Twitch or YouTube account, or maybe some of them upload their recordings, and then they all get highlights. So there's millions of streamers out there, but 100,000 is a really big number to get going, because not everyone is super serious about making clips and maintaining social channels and things like that. So that gives us a really good start and tons of content, if you will, that goes through our system. And what these streamers are is they are really, really demanding. So if you give them, like you saw the clip, the kill came within about 7 to 8 seconds of me starting. You need a little bit of buildup, and then you need the moment, and a little bit after the moment. So your AI needs to be really, really accurate. Now, if we had 30 seconds before that moment, that's kind of a waste of time for me and the streamer. So the streamers will really tell us, like, if our clips aren't accurate on any given game, the streamers will tell us. And so in the past couple of years, as we've acquired all of these streamers, they've helped us really improve our AI. So we now have AI for, over 50 games at a deep level where we capture all of the events in the game. And then for everything else, we've built universal AI where we're still analyzing the video, not necessarily every event, but we're looking for exciting moments in the video. And we also analyze the audio and the chat. So now we can do any game out there. So anything that gamers upload or stream, we'll give them back highlights for these top 50 games, which account for 70 to 80% of the viewership. We give them really, really detailed clips like this, broken down by all of the events. And for all of the other long tail, there's thousands and thousands of long tail games, we still give them back exciting moments. So first of all, the streamers have helped us sort of advance the product. Second, we've realized that there's a huge market for esports highlights. And if you don't mind me showing, I
Yeah,
can
sure.
show you another demo for what we've done in the esports world.
Yeah,
So, for instance, we crunch all of the highlights for PUBG esports. And this is the portal that their social media team uses. So first I'll select a game like PUBG Battlegrounds. And then I'll select a tournament. These are all the different tournaments that we've processed. So let's say I select one of these tournaments, PCS 6. We have different languages, so I'll select English. And within each tournament, esports tournament, it happens over the course of weeks. There's different stages. So I'll select grand final as a stage. And even within that grand final, it happens over multiple days. So let's pick a random day like week 1, day 2, and a random match. So now out of thousands of hours of footage, I've chosen a single match. And even within that match, I can say, hey, I want to see a specific type of moment. Like I want to see grenade kills, and maybe I want to see grenade kills by a certain player. So I can now create real. All of the footage is on Twitch. And out of these thousands of hours of footage, I'm down to a 32-second highlight reel that this generated dynamically. This is where our patents come in. We're using pointers and timestamps back to Twitch. And you can see VHZ here is throwing grenades and getting some grenade kills. And that's what I search for. Now it jumped to another moment, and my patent allows for that buffering time. It jumped to another moment, and it's showing me a different moment where now you can see VHZ throwing a grenade again, and probably will get a kill. Yep, gets the kill, and not only that, gets the winner chicken dinner. And hey, they won that game.
Amazing.
So yeah, right. So
Bingo.
just like that, out of thousands of hours of footage, I picked a few filters, and boom, I can jump to the right moment. And that's where it's not just AI figuring out these moments, but it's our patent that can use pointers and timestamps to bring all this sense and personalize these highlights to me to what I want.
This is amazing. Like, uh, one of I was just thinking about how big the use case for Sizzle is now, because the tournaments happening every single month. Yeah, there are so much of bigger market in esports. So I think even in while FIFA and PUBG, Valorant, some of the games which are now widely adopted in the multiplayer tournaments. So that's where they can save a lot of time, because they need to also have these shots of what angle we would need. So for them also it is quite difficult to edit the video, cut shots it, post it on out on the social media platforms. And Sizzle is their go-to platform for any of their tournaments or streaming. So
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. And moving forward from here, so
yeah.
this Sizzle, what you have built, come up with an idea of developing this. So this is a startup. So have you managed to scale? Because the experience you have always been a team member, leading a team from the front. Now you are driving a seat, where you are driving the whole company, and you are at a seat of an entrepreneur. So how you are managing to scale, and how you are planning to scale this from here, because even having or reaching 200,000 users for this platform is a huge benchmark which you have set in this market. And so how your approach is now here from here on while seeing this startup.
Yeah, so that's the thing. So outside of just individual streamers and then esports teams and leagues, as you mentioned, there's a lot of tournaments. And one thing that we've recognized is there's tons and tons of tournaments happening in Discord. Discord is a platform for gamers. There's 200 million monthly active gamers in Discord, and there's a lot of sub communities in Discord that are playing tournaments, Fortnite tournaments, Warzone, Call of Duty, Valorant, FIFA tournaments, all sorts of games. They're playing tournaments multiple times a week and just to get better. And so far, no one has been crunching highlights for these tournaments. And so we built a Discord bot that actually crunches highlights for all these tournaments. And we've generated millions and millions of viewers in the process. We've partnered with a lot of Discord servers. Some of them have hundreds of thousands of people. And in the process, we've acquired millions and millions of viewers in Discord watching our highlight clips. And, we're now partnering with leading brands like HP to come and sponsor these tournaments. And we include the brand advertisement on the clip itself. So we're building some new technology to monetize these clips, but also to connect brands to these millions of gamers. And that's where we think there's a lot of money to be made. And we're starting to monetize in a different way as well. Outside of our streamer subscriptions, we're monetizing through these brands and connecting these brands to these gamers. So that's a pretty a pretty important use of AI for us, and we're even adding things like AI commentary on the clips and things like that, and bringing brands into that.
That's
So yeah, let me show you an example. I might
yeah.
have an example here, but if you can see this clip here. In our last tournament that we did, HP was the sponsor, and we give them, their brands are Omen and HyperX. We give them a 2-second intro, And on this clip, which was one of the clips from the tournament, you can see this brand bar at the top where we give the brands some some visibility.
Nice.
And what happens is, in the actual clip, this is Fortnite. She takes over this vehicle with this turret gun, goes on a killing spree, and you can see sort of this
Yeah.
tagline at the top. At HyperX, we definitely approve of this turreting style. So our AI is
Yeah.
connecting the brand to the
Amazing.
gameplay, and then we give the brand a little bit of an outro as well.
Amazing.
So we've realized that, hey, this is a great way to connect bring brands into the content. And we even have AI to, yeah, here's another example where our AI can detect a planar surface, and we can
Nice.
superimpose a brand right there in the gameplay that didn't exist before. So we have fun ways of sort of incorporating brands into the clips. Our point of view is that, you know, um, our point of view is that long form content, you know, no one wants to see a 15-second ad before a 15-second clip.
True.
Users get really frustrated. And a lot of gamers have ad blockers and things like that. That's why we're incorporating the ad messages into the clip themselves, which is much better for the brand because you have the attention of the user and it's much better for the user. And so this is a way everyone's focused on advertising in long form content where Twitch has 7 hour streams and you have a million different ad breaks and that everybody hates except the advertisers. But what we're coming up with a way is a way for short form content to be monetized that's both ad friendly and user friendly.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
I think Sizzle is now going to this is global. Like this is not a product where it's just limited to a country. It's a whole industry, gaming industry, and you have these
Yeah,
open
that's right.
market. And if we talk about India now, there is a wave of totally new in the esports. People are seeking career in esports, and at peak, like even the gaming industry has a significant growth in this years. And I think what you have built is going to create a lot of value to the streamers and to the game players. And I think Sizzle is something which is even exciting to me. And for the first time, even while I will play the game, I would love to try the product of yours. And so, is
Sure.
it free for the users or how it is?
Yeah, Sizzle is free for the users. I mean, so we have a freemium offering, so streamers can use this for free. They get a watermark on their clips if it's free, and they get slower processing. If they pay, and it's only $5 a month, we're not trying to
Oh,
make too much money from streamers. But if they pay, we remove the watermark and we give them fast processing. So so even if you're a struggling streamer, you don't have much money, we tried to price it low at only $5 a month, so we're giving you a lot of value for that amount of for that pricing.
that's amazing. Like $5 a month is something. It's a fraction of cost. I can save a lot of money even if I'm hiring any video editor or I'm editing my own. Even those tools are not going to cost me lesser than this. So that's amazing
100%, 100%,
and makes sense.
100%.
So
Yeah,
Vijay, I'm glad that you are building this whole startup from scratch again one more time, and I wish you
yeah,
all the best for Sizzle. And
yeah.
I would like to hear a thought of yours, also a perspective of yours for the Softices Capital, like how Softices Capital is supporting a startup. So if you can just share a small experience of yours, it would be great.
Yeah, how so Yash, it's been great working with you in the past few weeks, and you guys have not only sort of made a lot of introductions for us, you've really thought about the business model and thought about how can we help startups and think through, like, how to grow, how to scale, so kind of like the questions that you're asking me, our conversations. So yeah, so really appreciate sort of the sort of thoughtful and intelligent discussions that we've had, thinking through who else can you bring in to make introductions and things like that, given the stage of the company. So yeah, just so far, it's been a great experience, and look forward to working with you guys even more closely.
Thank you, Vijay. And also, if anyone would like to start using Sizzle, how can they will just directly go on your website and they will upload it, or how can they directly start using your product?
Yeah, just go to sizzle.gg. If you're a streamer, connect your Twitch or YouTube account to Sizzle. If you're a gamer, but not a streamer, and you have any sort of gameplay recording, and you can easily record your gameplay in Microsoft, they have record buttons in their OS these days. Record your gameplay and upload it to Sizzle, and you'll get highlights. If you're in Discord and you're active in Discord and you want tournament highlights, reach out to us. info@sizzle.gg is our email. Or if you're an esports team or league, reach out to us at info@sizzle.gg. And we're even doing some work for gaming publishers now, where we're analyzing all of the chats in Twitch and YouTube and giving them back some insights, like what are people
Nice.
saying about their game, and maybe analyzing the influencers that they work with. So there's a lot of data that, because of our AI skills on the video, audio, and chat, we can actually do a lot of things for a lot of different parties. So if you're curious about AI and gaming in general, just reach out to us, and we're happy to have a good chat with you.
Like amazing. So, Vijay, thank you for having me. Thank you for joining Softices Capital podcast. It was great covering you, and it was an inspiring to me as well. How you have been associated with billion-dollar companies, and then you're now building everything from scratch, living that job for this commute, and switching from the tech to gaming. It is amazing what you are building. So thanks for joining, Vijay, and it was nice having you. Thank you.
Absolutely. It was
Yeah,
my pleasure being here. Thank you so much for having me, Yash, and hope your audience enjoys it. Thanks.
yeah. It was lovely. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a good one.
Yeah.